Right, let's see what Rengar and Brand are doing in the Emerald Elo, because Brand has been nerfed. Again, brain damage, brain rot champion. The skill level of the average jungler who plays Brand is, I think, lower than any other champion, lower than even Hecarim. Because you could just miss your spells and full clear and eventually kill people with itemization that you just abuse better than anybody else. And at the same time, because of his ramp up in that clear speed and the passive application, you know, even if you just hit a couple spells, those tick-ticks on the Blaze passive over here, we're just going to do enough to really ruin lives as he gets a little close to execution. The thing is, though, because of his econ from pure farm being nerfed with this, you know, current patch, you would expect to see that win rate go down, but it doesn't, because still Brand at the end of the day. The guy still has a stun. The guy still has huge AoE bounce. The guy still has... Here's the thing. A point-and-click E will allow you to hit a W for bonus damage or a Q for a stun, right? And that's the biggest thing. It's not like it's that difficult. As long as you use your E to guarantee the stun, it guarantees a W. Done. And now you're stacking your Blaze passive over here, doing that percentage HP, and it's obscene. Now, Rengar, on the other hand, also got nerfed, but I like the old school Rengar tips and tricks of, you know, red side quadrant into invading the enemy jungler. But the problem is, you know, we've got a Morgana here, we've got a bottom lane here. Maybe he's looking to gank this. I don't know if I would necessarily invest in the gank here, but I like the logic, right? Brand is full clearing down, most likely. What we can do here is gank the mid lane ahead of him, which I don't like, because now you're going to fall back to this and he can just collapse in on you with bottom lane. I prefer cutting into gank his bottom lane, because then you take away his eventuality, right? The guy's going to full clear and look to gank bottom lane. Now you've taken that away, and you got a Maokai, you got a Samira, so he's not really going to push it much more than that. So let's see exactly what he does. Is he full sending? You're not Poppy, you don't have Hex Flash. And at the same time, look at the Brand intelligent ward. Look at the intelligent ward here. You see this? This doesn't show anything. This is a lazy ward, but you know what? He just kind of says, what if I'm being invaded? Boom! Warded, seen, give it up, or just chill. Look at this. You have no prio on any lane, Rengar. What are you hoping to achieve here? Unfortunately, they have a Maokai in the bottom lane. Looks like the blue side bottom lane has not seen this. Rengar's just going to get a free approach. He doesn't have bush jump or anything to actually use, so he chucks a bola, hits nothing. Brand's like, you're not playing bel'veth. You're not playing... What's the other one? Graves? You absolutely must head over to Virkayu.gg. I have a free jungle improvement resource, as well as a dedicated program where we have jungle video courses, jungle coaching VOD libraries, weekly free video content seen nowhere else, as well as Q&As and patch note rundowns, as well as a private jungle Discord. And if there's one thing I'm good at, it's making junglers reach their goals, as we saw with the record number of people hitting them at the end of Season 13. If you want to climb faster than anyone you know, jungle diff every game you play, click the link below or head to Virkayu.gg. See, this is a mistake of the Brand here, guys. Quiz yourselves quickly. You get invaded through cheese. It doesn't pan out because you're smart and you ward. You think he's dumb. He's got 12 CS and red buff. Now he kind of has to double down on this in this gank invest, this invade invest. What do? What do you suggest this Brand should do in this particular situation? It's very simple. You don't go to the red. You slide on and you just do the Krugs first. You patiently wait. You pull them back. You see if he's going to recommit. And then you can make an executive decision, right? But like, obviously the Rengar knows he's going to be seen here. We do have Smite. Rengar also has Smite. So the best thing for us to do is kind of to leave the situation. Oh! Don't miss your Smite. Yeah, that's why you go to the Krugs. You go to the Krugs, and if the Rengar wants to waste his Smite on a large Krug for 15 gold, be my guest. Because that's an okay thing to lose. Like, it's okay to lose a large Krug when you get a lot of golden experience from the babies, right? And, like, now the Rengar, what's Brand doing? What's Brand doing? This is Emerald. You see, this is what I'm saying with Brand junglers. They're just not smart. You put a Karthus main, you put any sort of, like, champion that's going to get invaded by a Rengar main in this situation, it's a lot better. Like, they obviously won't try and outsmart a Rengar. You just go to the Krugs, you wait a little bit, then you start up for the red, you pull it up out of vision, you see him showing up. If you have Smite, you outsmite him. If you don't, you just go do opposite scuttle, and then go steal his tier 2 Krugs. Because you know in Emerald that this Rengar is going to fall back to his blue side, right? The Rengar's not going to think about maximizing experience. In Diamond, if you want Diamond, think about that, right? If you're Rengar here, you conduct the invade. Everything happens as you expected. But the Brand does the Krugs. And then you wait for him here. And the Brand kind of pulls it out. You still get the red cool. Brand says, I'm going to go for the Scuttle Crab. The Rengar, if he's smart, knows that the Brand is going to time the respawn of his Krugs at 4 minutes 20, the Raptors at 4 minutes 40-ish. So the Rengar, in theory, could just like look to gank these things, take the Scuttle base, and defend. Especially if he has Ornn Prio and Mid Prio. And especially if he thinks he can beat the Brand with Atomization Spike. But, in Emerald, most of the time they're just going to fall back to the blue side, which means Brand here could have just given up the red, gone to the top side Scuttle Crab. In fact, he probably should have damn well done that anyway. You know, once the Rengar takes this, off we go, and we take this over the... Well, you know, you walk around, watch your vision. Oh, no. He is doing it. But he's looking for the dive, obviously, because the Ornn's super low. Excuse me, I'm having a fat chat about camps. I stopped F-keying. This is why you F-key. This is why when you're playing the game, have your mind ready to go. This is good, though. This is good. So let's just go back in real time here. What I think is, if we don't waste so much time chasing the Rengar here, we just go straight to Krugs. You can then walk all the way up, do this opposite scuttle. You know Rengar's going here. Cut underneath and around and take these Krugs. And obviously now you'd have the Ornn. You know, if you need to dive him, if you want to gank it, you can do that. But in this situation, while we're talking about that, the guy actually goes back to base, buys himself a Dark Shield plus M-Tome, F-keys up and sees the Ornn, thinks, hey, maybe I could gank that. Sees super duper low, runs across here, says, yo, yo, yo. Rengar comes out of base. We're going to have to give that up. We're going to go to the grubbies here, but Rengar, of course, can just straight up contest. Ornn is TP'd back. At this point, Brand does him so quickly. Twisted Fate shows up again, and Rengar does a smart job just giving it up. That's good. That's good. All around, I'm pretty happy with that second phase. That's a much better second phase. However, Ornn is level 6. If there's one thing I'm very, very consistent on, in courses, coaching, free content, this channel, it's that, guys, the 5-minute 30 to 6-minute wave is going to give the guy 6. And if you're level 4, should you go and fight them? Probably not. So I'm going to go do my camps. Like, this is where you have to play for yourself a little bit, but also the fact that the Ornn has ult up and yellow card is down. So what you got to do now is wait for the Ornn's R1, alright? And you got to hit the stun. The problem with that is there's a whole bunch of minions in your way. So what could you do here that's really good? Smite the cannon and weave that Q straight into the Ornn so he cannot hit the R2. That's the only thing you can do here. But what he does is he moves out of the way, he runs, he tries to dodge, he gets hit by R1, then he gets hit by the R2, then Ornn, who doesn't actually need to flash, right? Like, he's 99% he's going to get that anyway. All the Brand had to do is, I know they've nerfed the smite, but you can just W, not hit the Ornn, you can smite that, the cannon, hit that Q weave, you might stun him on the R2. Like the Lee Sin mechanics evolved, but now we're severely compromised. See, this is the problem with Brand. Before, you could now catch up your clear super quickly. Like, the Brand could really do stupid things, really do these dumb things, and get away with them because his clear was so quick for catch up, right? Now, however, that's not something he can do. He is definitely slower, which is nerfing his win rate a little bit, but it's still super duper strong because most Brands, when they realize they should not be doing this, they don't end up in this situation. But again, I'm confused a little bit here. Why? Like, this is why Brands confuse me. You see how they just walk around randomly because they know they've got that fallback speed for clearing? I hate this level of jungling. I'm very happy with what the Rengar's done overall, except for the immeasurable full send. I don't necessarily like that a lot, but, you know, it played out, it worked out well for him, but you don't know results based it. Alright, Brand. Here we go. Raptors into Krugs. Rengar's in his bottom side jungle. Bottom lane has some sort of prio. We're going to loop back around for this Scuttle Crab, but we're going to go for a lane gank. The Maokai couldn't help himself. Ash gets caught up here. Brand's going to go for full damage, but he doesn't have level 6 yet. It's not enough at all. Tick, 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 boom. Rengar's going to ult in here, get the root, which will be enough to kill him. Nice rotation by the Rengar using that level 6, and that's the problem. You delay your level 6 way too much, and it costs you. It costs you mighty. Rengar, there's no reason to wait here, bro. Just go do your Scuttle Crab. Relax. The play's over. This guy's hovering. I know he's looking here, but he's still hovering way too much for my liking. Like, you can just go do Scuttle Crab and the same thing. Morgana knows you're there, so he's wasting his time. Gold amount, 1200. Red side is available. Shadows behind. Pet is shown, which I think we saw there from the pings. Don't know if Brand saw it. Morgana definitely saw it. Ornn's uses R again. Misses that W. That's a little weird. That's also weird. Now we finally level 6 at 9 minutes. Rengar's clearing his top side. The Brand is really compromised, isn't he? Pathing has not been good. No, no, no. Okay, let's see what we can do about it, though. The Annie and the Morgana pretty much equal. Samira Maokai. Is anyone at all surprised that that's what Samira Maokai does? Not me. I like the Rengar's attitude, though. Like, it's a little bit immeasurable, little psychopathic. Like, he's not, you know, like, you doing this through advanced tracking, extrapolation, and understanding what the brand wants to do. He's kind of just running at stuff and hoping, you know, that he can make plays, which is kind of what the brand's doing, but at the same time, the brand doesn't have to. Neither does the Rengar, but, like, at least the Rengar's full clearing around all of these things, you know what I mean? Ult is up, and he does have full send. You ready for the flash? She has it. Tough. Here it's tough because you got to time the Black Shield, but she's kind of low on mana. I feel like if my Rengar was here, yeah, it's a good W by the. Sorry, it's a good Q by the Morgana. It really saves her right there. Really saves her quite. A juicy save actually. But I still think at that particular moment when Rengar's got the ultimate, you are Annie and you've got your ultimate, even with the Black Shield going through. I feel like there's enough there for us to really get that kill. Maybe too hesitant. I would have liked to see a little bit of aggression there. Now, Samira does go on the bottom side here and overcommit again, trying to get those kills. 8-1-1. Whew, baby. Morgana shows up with the ultimate, flexes the mastery point, says, no, you die. And in the meantime, no one's going to go on the top lane here against the Twisted Fate while Rengar does those grubs. And here we do hit that W, get the passive proc, and no R, but we do full send it. Rengar can kill this easily. He's got ult up. Does he leave the grubs to go for it? He leaves the grubs to go for it, but does he go too late? Let's observe. No, he doesn't, because it's impossible to mess that up. Brand, in the meantime, is farming. And I'm farming and farming, but I'm down 11. He's 11, down 11 CS. That's the thing. If Rengar's going to be blind invading me, and I know this is Zyra, so I have a winning win rate against Rengar now. The benefit here is that, you know, I started my league career doing like 600 games of Rengar or whatever. So, like, I used to hardcore 2-trick him, or 3-trick him with Volley and Zyra. So I've got 1,000 games of Rengar jungle over 10 years. Probably more. So I know what I'm doing with the champion, and I know what the champion wants to do. And with Zyra, likewise, 2 million points, I know what to do with the champion, and I know what the champion wants to do. So obviously I have an unfair advantage here in this matchup. But I feel like this is not necessarily something that should be like a unique situation. Like, Virkayu, you know these champions, therefore you get the benefits. No, like a Karthus, it's the same logic, and Morgana's the same logic, and Brand's the same logic. Anything immobile that wants to clear fiddlesticks, and a Rengar wants to invade you and try and do things to you, like Graves, a Jarvan, a Kindred, doesn't matter. You've got to know how to path around it. And the brand just has not done that. And that, for me, is the big issue. You know what I mean? Like, of course, now we're doing some counter jungling, but look at the lanes. Like, your impact has been removed by the Rengar. You have not affected any lane in a positive way. You have only taken some grubs. You have not even farmed that much. And the Rengar's done exactly that and a lot better. So now we move on down. Now we press the buttons here. Look, this is what we're talking about. This guy has entered the whole game away, has done absolutely piss nothing, and all of a sudden just shows up and is like, yeah, you die. You die. He does too much damage. Now, Rengar obviously is shadowing the scenario. This is not a scenario you want to shadow at all. Once you realize your camp's a gun, you just say, my camp's a gun. You go here, you go here, you go here. You assume that potentially they'll go for the dragon, which is in theory something they should be doing, right? Both bottom lane killed. Everyone's available here. Let's go do the dragon. Is it risky because the brand's low? Sure, but it doesn't matter. We have numbers advantage. There's a possible dragon there, right? Because your bottom lane has that ability to do this. And that's a nice bubble there. Rengar decides not to save his W for a cleanse. Doesn't really matter because it was knocked up. And now he dies. So he wanted to follow up on the brand, but the Annie is now rotating. And oh my goodness gracious me. The Fiesta that is Emerald is always fascinating, but I'm trying to highlight here a lot of points for Emerald junglers, right? Emerald junglers, Emerald players. If you were to watch both junglers this game, and you see a 1-1-1 Rengar, you see a 2-2-2 brand, and remember this brand entered top lane, the brand got a kill here for free on the Ornn, he was lucky to get that, and again, these 2 kills here were also a little bit lucky. Would you say either of them look like diamond level material? Would you say either of these junglers look like they're making the right kind of reads and plays required for a diamond jungler? I'd say no. Firstly, their vision part thing has been pretty bad. Their patience has been pretty bad. The tempo has been pretty bad. I was happy with the Rengar's ideology. The execution was a little aggressive, but I was happy with what he was doing overall. But the brand, really, like, what did we do? We full cleared, got invaded, missed a possibility of proper counter jungling. We died to the guy level 6 to level 4. We got some grubs, which is great, obviously. We didn't really impact any other lane. We got 2 cleanup kills on the bottom. The first time he saw Rengar top and he counter jungled, he got ganks up on the bottom lane. It's good. That's very, very good. It's exactly the kind of shit you're looking for. But it just feels like the Rengar's in control of the game, even at 1-1-1. And of course, the Rengar's being carried by his bottom lane, and he hasn't done anything really, truly special. It's like, it looks like he's been doing stuff, but he hasn't really been doing stuff, you know what I mean? But still, the presence of taking the brand out of the game, I like the idea. Alright, Ashe, do you have ult? Yes, you do. Rengar's ult, about 3/4 of the way through, are able to finish that one there. And Ashe's going to die good roll by the Annie as well. So now the brand is going, you see the brand moving up a little bit more, doing some counter jungling. I'm focusing on the objectives. I'm doing some map control. Now imagine if he just let Rengar run around chasing him and he just controlled his own econ a little better, maybe a bit more ganking action. The brand could be in total control. Totally. But honestly, my mind is a little confused overall by what we're witnessing for both these junglers. And again, you're gonna say, yes, Virkayu, but the Samira. Friends, I've had fed bottom lanes before. I really have. And most importantly, I've had bottom lanes feed before. So I think you and I have all been on the same page where we've had bottom lane is int and bottom lane is not int. Like we're at 15-13. Go here. Look at the map here. If the brand was just a little bit more smooth about what he was doing, like say he goes for the Krugs here, couldn't he just give up his red and lane gank this? Like couldn't he just say, look, the red is warded. Why didn't I do these things and go to the bush? Maybe I can try something there because I think the Rengar's hovering. That's a play. Worst case scenario, you do this, the Rengar shows up, you have to give up your red. Your bottom lane shouldn't die to it, but then we can go buff, da buff, right? Take something away from the Rengar. We take the Krugs, we fall back to this, go back to base, out of base, come straight to the bottom lane. We're in a much better position. That's where you could have impacted bottom lane. But what really happened was the guy wastes his time here, doesn't do the counter jungling, gets a clean up on Ornn, takes the grubs, dies anyway, loses all tempo for sequencing, now cannot gank the bottom lane, and that's that. Right? That's that. It's really that simple, because look at the next kill. Is it 523? And at 523, this is not on him. He can do nothing about this. This is the 2v2 coin flip. You don't know if your jungler's going to win or lose. No jungler's impacting this whatsoever. It's nothing you do. He's here. That's cool. But now imagine, right? You've already taken the Rengar's camps. You already have killed the Ornn. You can fall back to a blue side quadrant now. You can reset, go bottom lane, and fix that. And then maybe contest this dragon as well. So there's always something you can do. And I'm just trying to illustrate that, look, sometimes you will lose games. End of story. Sometimes you will be in rough positions here. Why do we die? Because we didn't scan while we did a Herald. We didn't scan while we did objectives. Look at the map vision. It was watered. We saw that. But the guy's counter jungling and everything he's done has been a little bit weird. Like he counter jungles here with no prio, doesn't scan when he does the objective. The Rengar invades here with no prio, gets away with it. It's just both junglers really coin flipping their own existence. Truly. Truly. Ornn's done a solid job though. So was the Annie. Samira's super fed, and now it becomes really rough. Good that they got 3 grubs apiece. I'm happy with that. 2 dragons on the Rengar. Happy with that as well. But that's why the importance of early pathing is so critical. Now, obviously here, I don't get it. Because, like, you've got a vision plant. Hit it. What about this one down here? Hit it. Before you just run blindly into your jungle, hit the plant, see what's up, and decide whether or not you can actually go to face check and take this fight. Because obviously you've got to focus on the fact that Samir's going back to base here. So if Samir's going back to base, we should be able to maybe collapse and do something with numbers advantage. Alternatively, you could just hold the mid lane. But you have seen Brand get a few freebies. You have seen Brand do a few little things here and there, but I just wish he did more of them. Rengar didn't play very well, and he's got winning lanes, but I feel like he did a good enough job with winning lanes. When you got winning lanes, just prevent them from being ganked, be there so they don't die 1-on-1, 2v2, and get objectives. Like sometimes the jungler's job is really just low KP, high map control. As long as the enemy jungler doesn't get involved, you're good. Which I think it wasn't an amazing job, but it was at least something. It was something, I guess. But yeah, Maokai in the game is a little bit illegal. They shouldn't be pushing up this much, but this is a situation where you now look at your team like, guys, why are you so pushed up in death and dying? And that's because in these cases, you don't really want to be... Where you going, Brand? Of course. My kill. I take this. You don't want to be not in the picture, because we already killed bottom lane here We've activated the ultimate. Look at this. Black shielded. Marker's going to hold that. Auto attacks. In the meantime, another E. Hits a W. Fringe W. Chucks out a Q. Hits nothing. Marker ult. We're going to run away here. Obviously, Ghost allows us to do that. All we need to do is hit a nice little EW, which of course we missed. And then she dashes. And if she kills us, we get the kill anyway. And yeah, blah, 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 blah. But you cannot tell me as Brand, if you are doing this, auto cancel, vision, W, one more. Oh, the W auto attack heal positioning. W's up again. One more W. Doesn't need it. Ashe is horrible. But the whole thing is, don't be down here doing Krugs with your mid laner when you could be shadowing this. You want the enemy team to get aggressive, overcommit, and boom, you're there with an Annie and you're trapping them with your CC and your AoE damage. That's what Annie and Brand provide. Sorry, Morgana. That's what Morgana and Brand provide. But, you know, Annie also does. And when you do that, you're going to be in a much, much better situation. Oh, Rengar flashes the bubble. That was nicely done. We get the auto Q to finish off. And he ults in. But look at the damage Brand is able to do here. You know what I mean? Like this is the stuff. Let's see. Was this all him even? That's W auto attack. With an E. You know, I know the Twisted Fate died, but imagine a Brand who hits 2-3 items and is just able to nail the combos, nail the damage, nail the ultimate bounce, hit the passive perfectly. He's an assassin. And this guy's behind, by the way. He has 6,600 gold at 18 minutes, and the Annie is 6,900. Actually, it's a little bit of a fair battle. But that's the point. The Brand just missed the whole idea of what it means to be a farming jungler. That's why I made it on my main channel, How to Be a Farming Jungler. Nice ultimate guide, season 14. Go ahead and watch it. It's just too much random stuff. Bad positioning, you know, not supporting your team at all. And junglers get very, very selfish with this stuff. And it costs them. And they don't think about, like, just chill, let the enemy team push into you. Particular stage. Playing with fire a little bit. Like, I know we have vision there, but we're playing for the Morgana does hit here. We are able to... Oh, if he hit his spells, but maybe it's enough. No, it's not enough. Look at that healing, man, alive. On good TP. Really good binding by the Morgana. Super good peel by the Maokai. Really, really good peel by the Maokai. Like, that was pristine. But I think we can all agree that this 100%, there's damage and CC here for the Samira. We have it. We own it. We are able to take care of her if we are not this far behind. And honestly, that's just the biggest thing about Emerald junglers and Emerald gameplay. Like you see here now, it's just a mental breakdown. But it's not always malicious, you know? Like, oh, you know, my team. But there's definitely an element of I feel a little bit helplessness because I don't know what I should be doing. And I feel like that adds up a lot, but this is what it's like to watch Emerald junglers. I feel like I was not involved in this game. Like, we focus very narrowly on the junglers here. We don't look at lanes as much. We should in-game, obviously, but we're just talking about the decision-making and things like that, but it really feels like we're not a part of the game. Like, what? Like driving an SUV versus driving an actual car, right? Like, you feel you're on the car, you're floating on this weird boat device that shouldn't exist, versus being like in a nice, you know, nice car. It's close to the ground, you know, 600 horsepower. You feel like you're in the car. You are one with the car. Junglers, you need to feel like that. You cannot be on the game as a jungler. You gotta be in the game. In the game. And the Brand wasn't. And the Rengar was not always, but was more than the Brand. End of story. End of story. And his hyper-aggressive decision-making should have been punished, but again, because the Brand wasn't in the game, he was kind of just watching it on the side, he wasn't able to do anything. Do they just do the Baron and then, what? Like, you see, they're just giving up. They're just giving up. The mental, I mean, I don't know why you have Twisted Fate top lane anyway, but that doesn't matter. These things don't matter. None of it matters. You can win this game. I know the Samir's fed, but you could have won this game. Because I can see the timeline. But yeah, it looks like it's a case of where they've just mentally given up. Yeah, like, I get it. Goodness gracious me. What in the living hell? I've never known that skin that does that. Well, pentakills, I guess. Anyway, really scrappy game. Not a real cohesive message, just a lot of little things for Emerald junglers to work on. Thank you very much for watching. See you all in the next one.